surprise anybody.
Let's wrap up Week 9 with the battle between the Eagles and the Saints. Monday Night Football, the Saints laying 3, the total right around 52.5. Early action, Brian, on this one, at least as far as tickets written, split down the middle as far as the amount of tickets. It's basically 50-50, but I guess you could call it the respected money so far. Coming in on the underdog, the road team, Philadelphia Eagles, who opened at 4 and they're down to 3. Saints not only suffered on defense again last week, but that offense got completely dismantled and shut down over the final 2 quarters against Denver.
Yeah, coming into the season, this was probably one of the highlights of Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
At this point, nobody wants to touch this thing here. It's crazy. Neither team may even make the playoff. I think New Orleans is pretty much out of it by now. Philadelphia still has the future in their hands. I mean, they've got a lot of divisional games coming up. But this is a big game for them. Philadelphia's got to win this one. And, you know, we've heard all season long about New Orleans' defense, how bad it is. But I went through it and I studied this. It's just amazing. Every team has gotten at least 427 yards of offense against New Orleans. They played 7 games. One of the teams they played out of the 7, it was their 3rd highest offensive production game of the season. One was their 2nd highest production game of the season. The other 5 teams, it was their best offensive game of the season, all against the same team.
You saying they're bad?
They're not very good.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Eagles are 3-4 straight up, Marco, but they lost 2 games in the final seconds. I mean, they really are just a handful of plays away from being 5-2 straight up. They own a -9 turnover ratio, which has cost them. I mean, if the Eagles were to play the Chiefs, can you imagine? Would an offense ever score a point?
Cowboys in the same situation.
Cowboys are in the same boat, and they're going to be playing the Cowboys again soon. But a chance to get healthy against a defense that's allowed, as Brian just said, over 400 yards of offense in every game the Saints have played this season.
Well, you know what? I agree 100%. I think the problem here for Philadelphia there's no question, there's turmoil in Philadelphia. Andy Reid's situation, is he going to be there? Is he not going to be there? What do you do with Michael Vick? Do you set him or do you not set him? You know, Andy Reid last week, Philadelphia was a very popular play with a lot of handicappers last week because of that one stat. Andy Reid coming out of a bye week, he was 13-0. They looked horrible. I mean, not only did they lose last week, they looked horrible. I mean, Atlanta beat them in every facet of the game. I actually think that when things are going as bad as they're going in Philadelphia, the best thing that could happen to a team like that is to go on the road. You get away from the hometown media because that's their job.
We've talked about this in college football and the NFL over the last several weeks on this show.
This is a primetime game on TV. You know, you got a chance to make a statement in front of the national audience, and you're away from all of your critics back home. I think you're going to. If you're ever going to see a good effort from Philadelphia, you're going to see it here. And this pretty much is almost their season for them. The Saints, as you said, no team has scored less than 24 points against them. You're going to give me points with a team that's got the better defense playing a team that doesn't stop anybody? Where do I sign up at?
The scary thing about backing Philadelphia at any point right now is what happened to them last week against the Falcons. Is what they did is they completed more screen passes in one game against the Eagles than I see most teams try over about a 2 or 3 game period. I mean, they had like 9 or 10 screen passes that completed and gained really good yardage against this Philadelphia team. New Orleans can be as good as it gets when it comes to screen passes, but at least now Andy Reid and his new defensive coordinator, who got a quick baptism when it came to the NFL, has had a chance to see what New Orleans might try to do. Brian, this one is your free pick.
I'll take the points with the Eagles here. You know, the Eagles' major step down defensively. They played a lot of tough defenses so far this season. Now they're playing the worst defense, not only this year, worst defense I can remember in a long time. You know, in the Saints situation, they've got 2 wins on the season against the Chargers and the Buccaneers. They were outgained in both those games, and this is the only team in the entire league that has lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. We will take the points with the better team on Monday Night Football.
Good stuff. That's Monday Night Football. Brian says take those points with the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, we're going to be here next week. We might even throw some NBA into the mix with the NBA season starting this past week. But anyway, hope you had a great weekend. Let's put the entire week in the win column. We're back here next week with more college and pro football. We'll see you then at pregame.tv.